Welcome, guys, back to Real Love Scenario. Real Love Scenario.
Did you see that someone said?
Yes, somebody said that we didn't sing it coming into one of the episodes.
There's always next week. Shout out to my friend Corey. He was like, Dre did not sing it this time. There's always next week. Well, it's next week.
It's next week.
Thank you for singing it this time. We need to just cut it.
We should.
Just make that the thing.
We should.
Yeah.
I think so. How was your Memorial Day weekend? Did you do anything?
I did, actually. I was like, what happened? I swear you would think that I'm like having early age dementia or something. I did get a little day of relaxation.
Okay.
But we had no, we didn't. We were off.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. We didn't have Don't Call Me White Girl, which was nice. I mean, we love it, but it's nice to have a day off. I don't care what it is, what you do. But then I went to New York on Sunday.
I went to New York too.
You did. I was there the day after you.
Oh, okay.
You were there for the fight, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I went to visit my friend Crystal and her husband. They had a barbecue.
Yeah. Shout out
it
Crystal.
Was great. Yes. It was great. Rode up with my homegirl, Lindsay. It was just a good road trip day. It was nice.
That's nice.
Yes. How was yours?
I was just getting back from Abu Dhabi, so I was just tired. Like, we went there for the fight. Shout out to Baltimore, Tank, Javante Davis.
Look at the Baltimore shout out. I love this. I am converting you. Won't you just get a place?
It's the summertime. It's just, it feels good. But the fight was really good. He fought Rolly, which was just, it was a spectacle. There was fighting in the crowds. It was just everything that you could
just
expect.
Fights on top of fights.
Fights on top of fights. But
one ticket. Yep. 3 events.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
So that was a good time. I just hung out, but I was so tired. Actually, on Memorial Day, I was like, I'm trying to go home. Y'all can stay if y'all want to. I went with my friends, but I was like, I'm going to catch the train, bus. I don't care. I'm going home. Like, I'm tired. I've been gone all week. So I was like, yeah.
What's the time difference?
8 hours, but it's a 13-hour flight.
Oh, I'm surprised you were able to come back and do something immediately. Were you sleepy at the game? I mean, at the fight?
No, I wasn't because I went to bed I got back on Friday.
Okay, I got you.
So,
I got you. Okay.
Yep.
Good. It sounds like we both had a
eventful
Memorial
Day for sure.
Yes. Man,
we got ready to hop in it.
Might as well.
Or should we make our announcement now, or we should wait till the next episode?
I think we should wait till the next episode.
Okay, we're gonna wait till the next episode.
That'll be the episode. Yeah, let's just wait.
Yeah,
let's wait.
We got some stuff coming. Got some stuff coming.
It's because of you. But we'll talk about it next week. So shall we jump right in?
Yeah, let's jump into the topic. Let's jump into the topic.
Hey y'all, I'm Cayla, a 24-year-old from the DMV. Woo, be from Dre's hood. It's not mine, but I lived there a little bit. Anywho, I wanted to ask for your advice because I'm getting to a point where I'm ready to give up on dating. Wait a minute.
She said she's 24. 24. She ready?
Let me not judge her.
Sometime.
Girl, please. Not yet. Not at 24, but okay. Girl, please.
That's what she's singing in church.
That is what she's singing. And I'm going to be in the pew right behind her with the fan smacking upside to put your hand down. You ain't been living long enough to be tired. Get the Cayla. Okay. Woosah. Let's get back into the scenario. Although I'm 24, I'm pretty mature for my age. I'm gonna focus.
Let her live.
Because of this, I've run into dilemmas with men my age not wanting to be in a space to take dating seriously, but men who are older by 5 to 10 years, which I prefer, not necessarily taking me serious due to the age gap. Okay. On top of this, I'm a Black Christian woman, and the dating scene for those serious about their walk with God is slim. I personally feel that there's not a scarcity of good Christian men, but rather a divide between men and women in the church, which makes dating very difficult. I have encountered Christian men who do have characteristics that I would like in a partner, but it seems like the only way for anything to move forward is for me to initiate. I don't have an issue with initiating, but I don't want to be carrying the relationship or initiating every interaction, which has unfortunately been my experience. On the flip side, dating non-Christian men hasn't been much better. Girl, it has always come down to sex, and truthfully, I'm currently at a place in my life where I have mixed feelings regarding sex. So it's not super high on my list of things I desire in a healthy relationship. Dre, the wild thing is we went to the same school. Okay. I go to the church you and Bree met at. Okay. And I currently live in the same city as y'all. Okay. Okay. So to hear y'all's story and know that we've had completely different experiences with dating is very interesting to me. I completely acknowledge that everyone's story will be different. I simply brought these up as similarities to reference the type of areas I've been in. Thank you all in advance. I appreciate this platform and your perspectives, and I hope you're doing well. Well, thank you, Cayla, for writing in. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you writing in.
Yes.
And we look forward to helping you figure out this problem that you have.
Right.
This real life love scenario.
Mm-hmm. Dre, you go first.
Okay. You want me to go first?
I do. Let me back up.
There's a lot to unpack in this.
Yes.
This is one of our scenarios, like some of the other ones that we have that are layered.
Yes.
It's a lot of different things to
in all seriousness
attack.
Yes, it's a lot of things.
Where do I want to start? I guess we could start at this point when it comes to relationships, just in general, right?
Okay.
There is a saying in relationships where they say the grass isn't always greener, right? Like when it comes to people leaving their situation. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily believe that, right? Mm-hmm. I believe that sometimes the grass is greener.
Sometimes the grass is greener.
Sometimes the grass is greener, people.
The saying is also the grass is greener where you water it. Oh. Look at that.
That's another little
That's
sprinkle.
A nice one, ain't it?
That is a nice one.
Sorry.
What I like to say is sometimes the grass is greener, but it's still grass. And what that means is that although you're leaving one relationship for another relationship, it's still a relationship. Yep. Meaning that the person's problems that you go to, the new person's problems are let me say this, the new person will still have problems. They'll just have different problems than the old person.
That's right.
So if you're trying to leave a situation hoping that you will get somebody who doesn't have problems, you're going to be working through problems no matter which side of the fence you're going to be on.
Yes.
Everybody has their own problems, their own issues, their own things that they have to figure out, their own baggage, their own trauma. Yeah. And I say that to say in this situation is that when you're looking for somebody, I don't want you to close off your mind to the people that you're talking to because they don't have it all together sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like even in the thing she said that Bree and I met, she goes to the church we met at. When you meet at church, Rhonda can tell you, she knew when we first met, we did not meet at church.
No, they did not.
And how we met had nothing to do with
the Lord. Okay. Love you, Bree. Love you, Dre.
Nothing to do with.
Yeah, they might have had some meetings at church. I remember the reconnection in the church.
Yes.
Yes, but there was no church. Might have been a church driving by a church, but there was no church.
We did not meet at church. And I say that to say is that if we came how we were right now, that would be a completely different situation. But when we entered our relationship, we weren't put together, complete. Her walk with God wasn't all, there are so many times in the beginning that she questioned God, if God even existed and things like that. And it's it took me holding true to what I believed in and trying to be a leader and, giving her the room to explain how she felt and giving her the room to figure those things out herself and experience things for herself in order for her to feel comfortable with moving forward with what she was doing. So I say that to say in her situation is sometimes you're not going to get somebody who comes turnkey, as I should say in a real estate term.
Yeah.
A lot of people are fixer uppers. A lot of people, you're seeing the potential or you're seeing, what somebody has and you're realizing, okay, they don't have everything together. And newsflash, you probably don't either. There are probably some things that they're working with you or working through you or working through with you.
Yeah.
But there are people you got to work with people through things. And I think that's one of the things that stands out to me is I feel like Cayla, that's her name, right? And a lot of people look for this finished product. And if this person isn't completely finished and has it all together, then they're not even open to pursuing something with that person because
Yeah.
they don't have it all together.
Yeah. And I think the other disservice, Cayla, that you may be doing to yourself is, which she said, like, she prefers men that are a little older, 5 to 10 years older than her, but she's also open to dating guys her age, which is 24. So I would say probably somewhere around 23 to 27. Is comparing them, or maybe assumptively thinking that the older ones are ready and the younger ones are not. And then maybe that's her actual experience. But I don't know. We talked about just like, and we talk about dating a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like this is real love scenario. So that's a big crux of what we're talking about, dating from the most remedial level to the most advanced level of like family and all of that. But dating is just such a wild card experience. It is not anything that looks the same for every single person. It can be the most beautiful, amazing experience that leads to marriage or whatever you think your dream of a relationship or dating looks like.
For sure.
But it can also be very disappointing, extremely traumatic, very upsetting and frustrating. And that's just the nature of it. There is no way to really give hard, fast facts on how to get what you want out of dating. It is a very risky experience, even when it works out. You know, you're still putting yourself out there and meeting people, and you don't know if this encounter is going to be forever, or if this encounter is going to be for 2 weeks or 3 months or 6 months or 2.5 weeks. Like, you just don't know, right? So going into it assuming anything is probably just a bad idea. Trying to adjust around ages is probably also to me, it's one of the worst indicators on who to date, age, because age doesn't always reflect anything. I have dated very immature 50-year-olds. I have dated very mature 28-year-olds, and all the while I was in my 30s. All the while I was in my 30s. So it's like that part, you know, I hear you. I hear you. Cayla, I hear you about how hard dating is. Really, I do. I understand. I will get on the mountaintops and say it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me say this. Where's my camera at? For a lot of women or people out here who always talk about how hard dating is and how difficult dating is, I want you to just stop with that mindset, because I feel like I play sports all my life. That's like a defeated mindset. I feel like you're going to, and there's times where you have struggles or you have low points to where you're like, dang, like what in the world? Like, is there anybody out here for me? But if that's your general mindset, always going into dating or meeting people, then you're not going to have a great experience with that. Or when you meet some decent person, you're going to end up settling because you're like, I'm not going to find anything better out here than this person that I just found, even though it's just not exactly what I want. So you need to have more of a positive mindset towards dating. You need to look at it and say, my person's out there for me. I just haven't met him yet. And, you know, every person, Brie always says this, my wife always says this, like every person that I don't end up with is one person closer to the person I'm supposed to be with.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't want you to have that mindset. And I think that also when it comes to dating, that stop focus on always trying to find the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Just focus on like building genuine relationships with people, because it's possible sometimes that the person that you're talking to may introduce you to your person, or may invite you to a place to where you may meet your person. It's like, so to always be in a position to where it's like, it's my husband or bust when you're talking to people or interacting with men, it's going to be very difficult for you to find anyone, I think, because you're not building any relationships with anybody. You're just like,
that was where I was headed with it. Like, not to have a negative mindset, but I think we talked about this maybe on episode 1 or 2, that anything worth having is worth working for. If it's easy, it's probably not worth it anyway. So while your experiences can sometimes be challenging, can sometimes be actually difficult, what are you really going to do? Like, leave the world? I mean, if you want partnership, right? If that is really a goal of yours, like overall companionship and partnership, Dating is the only way to get there. You cannot circumvent it. You cannot go around it. You can't beat that game. You just can't. And honestly, you probably shouldn't even look at it as a game, because it's not. It is a necessary part of the process. To Dre's point, it is not always going to be, every person is not going to be your husband. It could be the best man in your future wedding. It could be a guy that's linking you to something. It could actually just be a great business opportunity, or just a great homeboy that you find that helps you figure out what you could be doing wrong in the dating space, that will then lead you to your partner. Like, sometimes you really do, and I say this to all women, like, we have to be patient with the process. And respectfully, Cayla, you most definitely need to be patient with the process at 24, saying that you want to give up on dating. I know I may not look it, honey, but I'm 38 and single. Okay. I've been in some relationships in this time between 24 and 38, but what are you going to do? You can't leave. You can stop dating altogether, but you know that then means you will not have companionship or partnership. So just be patient with yourself and be patient with the process.
I think one thing I want to hit 2 points. I have a question for you. Don't let me forget that I have a question for you.
Got it.
But I want to hit this aspect of like Christianity and dating as a Christian and stuff like that. And obviously, Brie and I waited for marriage, and when we put that out there publicly, we got a lot of flack because Brie and I lived together while waiting for marriage. Oh,
shacking up.
We were shacking up, you know, the old term. And it's like, we're given the appearance of sin and all these things, and we got jumped for it by some, we got praised for it by others, but we knew in our house and in our relationship, we weren't having sex. Like, so you can say what you want, we're not having sex in our relationship. What I say to say is that one of the videos that I created about waiting for marriage pretty much helped our channel go like viral. And it was because I focused on the why and not like the actual act of waiting for marriage. And I'm going to break that down a little bit because it, you know, pertains or correlates with Christianity and how people operate. Is that some people just look at the rule and don't think like, why am I doing this? They just see it and they're like, oh, it says to do this, I'm just going to do it, and blindly like follow it without thinking about why. And when it comes to like dating as a Christian, just because you're a Christian or you follow these rules or follow what the Bible says, you got to figure out like why you're doing these things. Because I feel like some people just think that just because I'm a Christian or just because I wait for marriage, then I'm doing the right thing, so my husband should come to me. It's like, no, you're waiting for marriage to, number one, have a sober mind and finding who you want to be with, to have an intentionality when you're trying to find a person. It's like there's reasons why the Bible is telling you to wait for marriage. And there's reasons that the Bible is telling you to do this thing versus that thing. So just thinking that I'm a Christian, so just because I'm a Christian, now I should have godly men coming into my life and my relationships should now work because I'm a godly person. It's like, it don't work like that. You still got to put in the work. Even if you're a Christian, like you still got to put in the work to be a better person, to be a good person. Like I feel like that happens a lot, to where it's like people's like, oh, I'm a Christian, so God's going to bless me. And it's like, no, you got to put in work just like everybody else, just like the non-Christians, just like everybody. People, if somebody's going to spend the rest of their life with you, it's like, you got to be a good person. You got to have great habits. You got to work on your communication. You got to work on your trust issues. Like just because you're a Christian, you got trauma. You got traumatic things that have happened to you that you have to work through. The work doesn't stop with just being a Christian. You have to actually put in work for yourself to be a better person.
And even with putting in the work, let me be super clear. You still may not meet your person when you want to meet your person.
Very true.
I pray, you know, and I'm not going to be a negative Nancy, but some people may never have an actual a companion in their lifetime that they die with, right? That they grow old with and die with. But that doesn't mean that they were doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that like they made a bunch of missteps and that's why they're alone. It just may not be in the cards for that particular person. I'm not saying that that's you, Cayla, but what I'm saying is you could really have it all straight. You really could be doing all the right things, putting in the work that Dre was referencing, and you still have not met this person. I don't want to sound like an ageist at all, or like, girl, you out of your mind for being 24, talking about you want to give up on a date. I'm tapping on it. Tapping on it. Go ahead. Tapping on it. It's
like you don't even got you didn't even put in the requisite the amount of hours.
Baby, you wasn't even in grade school
to be tired
when I graduated from high school. So
you didn't even put in enough time to be tired. That's
you have not. I think about, when we first met. And Dre, you were not necessarily looking for a serious relationship right at the time that we met. You got scared.
I had to see where she was going with this.
I'm not done yet.
Where she was going.
No, it's totally positive. But Dre, you were a young man wanting partnership. When you did come to that conclusion, you were not 25, because you and Bree have been together for what, 5 years?
5 years.
And you're 28.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got into a committed relationship young. You got married, what most people would consider young. Yeah. And so I don't say you're crazy for wanting a serious relationship at 24. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, unfortunately, to some degree, you are now in a society where this isn't always exalted. And it's just so many options. There's so much going on that, like, baby girl, you just continue to do the work and make sure you're good and in a space to receive it, and that you're not, ignoring people that may really be vying for your attention, that you're picking the right partners, when I say partner, I mean partners to date, that you're utilizing all the resources. We could go on and on and on and on and on, giving you tips on how to meet people, where to meet people, get on an app, go out more, change your church, do something different with your hair, try approaching men at the gym, send a man a drink. I know you said you don't like initiating all the time, but maybe that was just the wrong guy to be initiating with. I could do this. I could give you 45,000 tips, and none of them could work, and one of them could. It's given good luck and Godspeed, and also them 30-something-year-olds that you meeting that want to be in a relationship but said that you too young, slide in my DM and tell me where they at. Okay, because I'm their age. And if we looking for the same thing and they want, let me stop. But I know you have a question for me, because I have a question for you too.
Yes. So before I ask you my question, I do want to say that one thing that I did when I decided I wanted to be in a serious relationship, was that I prayed, right? But I didn't pray like, hey, God, send me my wife, right? It was more like, if I'm supposed to be alone, teach me how to live alone and be happy on my own.
My goodness.
Because it's like, you don't know when this person is coming, and you don't want to feel like your life is ruined because you don't have companionship. Yeah. So if companionship is not in the cards for me, or if companionship comes at a later age, if it comes at 35, 45, 55, where some people do find love at like 55 or 60 or stuff like that. And they find their person who they felt like, man, like, you are my person. Yeah. You have to learn to live alone, because number one, that helps you not to settle.
Yes,
right.
Lord.
It helps you're whole within yourself, and you're not looking for somebody else to fill the holes that you have. And I say it again, but it's the point of not settling. That's what I don't want you to do, Cayla, in this situation, is settle for somebody, because especially at the age of 24, goodness,
no,
you don't want to settle for somebody who's less than what you know you want or what you deserve. So I would say pray that prayer is like, God, teach me how to live on my own and be happy on my own and be content and enjoy my life and enjoy myself and do all that on my own and being by myself. And that's the prayer that I prayed. That's what my mom told me she prayed before finding my stepdad. Like, just teach me how to be happy with me and be happy on my own.
And when you really are happy with you, people can see that.
Yep.
That it is so attractive.
It's very attractive.
It is very attractive. I think men, just like women, want to be needed and desired in relationships. But I also think that people really enjoy feeling like this person that they like and love really likes and loves themselves. Like, you like and love you. So how could I not be in love with you if you love yourself so much? and it's a fine line to make sure you don't make someone feel like they're not wanted or needed in your life. But man, I mean, my boy is preaching that is it. Like that prayer is, I got to put that back in the rotation, because I haven't had that in the rotation in a minute. But just like sometimes I would frame it more so like, you know, keep my mind focused on the things that I'm supposed to be focused on right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're focused on finding partnership when that's not one of your focuses right now. You want it to be one of your focuses. God does not want it to be your focus. God wants you to spend more time with your mom. God wants you to excel in your career at this time.
Yes.
God wants you to work on your credit so that when you do get this person, you don't have to have this difficult conversation of, my stuff not together.
Like all this dead and all that.
God wants you to read more. God wants you to do other things more. And so, but that specifically, so good. And it is very attractive. I can see people walking down the street and that glow
who are
from
confident within themselves.
Yeah, like I'm good. I would love to meet someone. I'm ready to meet someone. But if God has it for me to be sitting still right now and not having companionship, I'm cool with that too.
I'm not desperate.
Yes, because desperation will cause you to make very difficult decisions. I have been there, raising my hand. Y'all know I'm super transparent and honest about when I've made bad decisions in the past from just not working through my stuff. You don't want to be there. And I think the beauty of where you are right now at 24 is you are still young enough to like work and massage this and know, like, don't get to the 45s and the 55s and you're still you're struggling to love you.
Yeah.
Like, love you, honey. Like, continue to work on you. Don't let any of this foolishness with not working out when you wanted to work out get the best of you.
And just to piggyback on the point, I'm gonna ask the question that I have for you. But it's like something I've said on this show before, is that preparation is still progress. That if you want to progress towards finding the person that you're with, preparing is still progressing. So even in your singleness, like Rhonda said, is like spending time with somebody or reading or doing things like that, working on your communication skills with your friends or with your family or stuff like that. It's like that's still preparation, which is still progress towards what you ultimately want to do or the person that you want to be with. So question for you.
Okay.
And for the women out there, because I see this all. You're different though, because I know you and I know that you, and maybe this changed over the years.
Okay.
So I remember I was having a conversation with some of my women friends, right? And they were talking about, oh, guys, this, like, ain't no good dudes out here. It's so hard and all this, you know. And I asked them a question that kind of stumped them a little bit. I was like, all right, so you as a woman, if you're out somewhere, grocery store, anything like that, and you see somebody that you're attracted to and that you're interested in, what do you do? And they were just like, what you mean? What do I do? Like, it's like, yeah, what do you do? Like, you see the person, you're attracted to them. What like, what are you looking for in this situation? You see somebody, you like the way they look, you're attracted to them. What do you do? And with that question, I realized that a lot of women don't know how to meet men.
They don't. I agree. So is the question, do I agree that women don't know how to meet men, or what do I do if I see someone that I'm attracted to?
Well, it's more of just like, well, number one, I was asking, do you agree with that? So you agree with that? Yes. But then give us the context behind it. Like, why do you think that is? And that's a thing that, because that was something that, like I said, in conversation when I was asking these questions, I'm like, all right, you don't know how to meet men. And if you're just waiting, and I say this all the time, if you're just waiting for one day out of a week, one night in a place where there's 150 to 200 people, where half of them are of the opposite sex anyway, and half of them are the same sex, and you're hoping that one of those people will come up to you and talk to you in order for you to find the person you're ultimately going to spend the rest of your life with, like, you're going to think it's hard out here. Of course. Because it's not like, that's not the formula to finding somebody. The people that you are interested in, the Mr. Rights of the world, do everything you do. They go to the grocery store, they go to the bank, they go to the gas station, they get their oil changed. Like, they do everything that you do. So you can't be afraid to converse or have conversations with people in different settings. And I feel like women struggle with that because, yes, you do want to feel like you're being approached or being chased. You don't want to initiate. But I realized that they didn't understand the difference between getting at somebody versus saying, hey, you're allowed to talk to me with this comment, or opening the door to conversation.
Yes. Well, I will say personally, I am not afraid of. I have approached men if I find them attractive from a variety of things, to just doing what you just were talking about, setting it up so that it is clear that I would welcome an approach, which is oftentimes used. You do that with body language or energy. That could be, putting yourself in their line of sight. It could be making sure that when the opportunity presents itself for you all to catch eyes, that you're ready for that. So that, listen, men are not stupid. We all read body language for the most part. So a man would very well, if he's seen you and you've seen him, he may very well just be waiting for that signal, that look that we make, that is like super clear that she want me to say something to her. So that's one way. But I'm also okay with just initiating it myself. Speaking sometimes is enough. Just saying, hey, how are you? Or paying a compliment. I actually don't think men are complimented enough. I don't. Yeah. Like, just even if you aren't interested in him, but you just find him attractive, it's nothing. Imagine in the grocery store, a place where you are probably very casually dressed, or you running in there after work. So maybe you just had a long day, so you just got on like your work. Like you don't get dressed up to go to the grocery store. Is my point. Sure. So it's not a place that you would expect people to pay you compliments. Mm-hmm. That compliment is going to go so much further than the one in the club or the one at the lounge or the bar or whatever, because you did go there for attention.
For sure.
Grocery store, you didn't. So imagine this fine man is just in the produce section feeling peppers and looking at strawberries making sure that everything is nice and ripe, and you just walk up to him and you like, you are so handsome. Just wanted to tell you that. Listen, I have gotten phone numbers and given my phone number out off of just paying a man a compliment. So I do think there are two approaches. The reason I think that women sometimes struggle with that is because we have been browbeaten to believe that men pursue. And that is somehow all encompassing of those initial interactions.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that men probably should be the stronger pursuer. Okay, once we in the groove of it. Because like her, I don't want to always initiate. But that's not just a romantic thing for me. I also don't want to always initiate with my friends. Sometimes I want to be invited and not be doing the inviting. But let's undo how heavy that is in our minds. Like, it's really okay for you to be sitting at a bar, see a nice guy at the other end, tell the bartender to give him another one of what he's having, and tell her that you bought it.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like, that is not somehow going to make you the man, the pursuer, and the aggressor for the rest of whatever encounter you all have. Like, it's not that deep.
I just want to tell people, like, I know that this is a thing that people, like a lot of women think when it comes to men, but sorry to break it to you, men are scared to approach women.
I don't like that though. But go ahead.
Like, that's
Tell me
the thing.
more.
Well, it's not even men are scared to approach women, is that we all fear rejection.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. Okay, go.
Okay. No, men are people.
Yes.
And I think that all people, to some extent, fear rejection.
Yes, we do. I agree with that.
And so if I go up to you and you reject me, that's like, nobody likes that feeling.
No.
Right? Mm-mm. So to always think that men, if they're interested in you, are just going to come up to you if they're interested in you, that's not the case.
No, not always.
Why would I want to get rejected? Mm-hmm. Like, and especially in situations, I don't care what looks you throwing at me, it's even more embarrassing if I get rejected in front of other people. Mm-hmm. So if you sitting there giving me looks, but you with all your homegirls or with like a group of people, your homeboys and homegirls, I'm not about to go where y'all at.
Right.
In the middle.
For the group rejection.
Elbow. Hey, let me, talk to you for a second.
Get off me.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to look stupid.
Yes.
So it's like, first you got to get out your head that somebody's just going to come up to you if they're interested in you. Mm-hmm. The people that do come up to you will do that to 90% of the people in there. Because a lot of times they have this irrational confidence, or they don't really care. They just trying to get whatever.
Irrational confidence for me.
I mean, some people do. Like
Yeah,
a lot of the guys who approach women in settings like that when you're out and stuff, like they would do that to.
Just as fast as you say no is as fast as
They
he's
would do
on
that
to
to
the
somebody else.
boom. Yes.
Exactly. So I think that it's even more important that you do in some way, like open up the door to say like, hey, you're allowed to talk to me, or hey, you know, I'm okay with us having a conversation. And like you said, there's so much space in between not talking to somebody and having a conversation, or so much to not talking to somebody and actually like getting at somebody and like throwing game on the dude. Like there's so much in between space of conversations that you could have that's not you seeming like you trying to like holler at me or like really trying to get at me. I think like you said, one of them is paying compliments. Like everybody likes compliments. Like everybody likes compliments. Especially if it's in appropriate ways, not like a creepy way. It's like it's cool. Like everybody likes compliments.
Can we just be super clear on what a compliment is and what doing too much is? Like, hey, you're beautiful is a compliment. Get your sexy ass over here is not. Okay?
Yeah.
Two different things.
Even the eyes, like don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's a way.
Don't make somebody feel like a piece of meat, basically. Make them feel like you truly appreciate it. What they're doing, and one thing I noticed it with women, what works a lot, because I know that having a wife, or dating women, how much energy every time you go out goes into what you're wearing, how you wear your hair. So it's like, I know how much thought you put into that. I know you probably sent that to a friend at one point. I know you probably, you switch, you may have changed 3 times. So just hearing like, yo, that jacket I really like that jacket. It's really dope. Or I've complimented women on their handbags. Like, oh, that's a nice like purse. Nice, like it's really, and you just see it's like, oh, like, or they'll tell the story. I just bought this when I was, it's just,
do. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I've had this for 10 years.
Like people like that. And like you said, men like, have conversation, because contrary to popular belief, sometimes men change 3 or 4 times to figure out what I'm gonna wear, what shoes I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna wear this hat. Nah, I'm not gonna wear the hat. Like just paying a compliment helps.
It does.
Another thing, women, that works for men is men have a natural instinct to want to help, right? So try this one time. If you're out, see somebody you're interested in, go up to the man and say, like, hey, can you help me with something? And just saying that will have him like what you...
Such a good one.
It can be a question. Me and my girls were talking about this, and we were trying to figure out between this and this. I just want to get your opinion. Like, and that opens the door for him to know that he now has permission to talk to you. It can be like, hey, can you help me with something? I just ordered 4 drinks at the bar. I can't carry them all. Do you mind helping them carry? Hey, like, I'm about to run to the bathroom. You might hold my jacket while I run to the... Like, if you just tell a man, like, hey, can you help me with something? It's automatically going to have his antennas go like, what can I help you with? What can I help you with? Yeah, I can help you with. And these are things like going to a restaurant, say like, hey, what do you normally get here? I'm trying to figure out what I want. Like, just anything that's saying like, hey, I'm here to talk if you want to talk. Sometimes he may talk to you if he's interested, but it's at least opening the door to let him know that it's okay for him to talk back to you, versus like waiting and just hoping,
sitting there hoping
like he sees me. Like, I hope, like, it's like, no, like engage with him. And like I said, there's so much space in between not talking and like really trying to get at him. It's like if a guy like was at a store and you came up and was like, hey, like, I've never been here before. What do you normally get? I'm trying to figure out what I want. He's not going to go back to his homeboys and be like, yo, this girl was trying to get at me, bro. Like, no, like,
even if that was her move. No, it's so innocent and unassuming. Yeah,
nobody's like thinking like, oh, she trying to get at me, like back. It's like, nah, she just asked me.
She just asked, what do I normally get from the chicken spot?
Because she's trying to figure out what she wants.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Dating really should be, and when you're working through it, when I say working through it, like you're single, so you're dating. That's what I mean by working through it, because I don't want that to sound like, I mean like it's a labor issue working through it. When you're dating, you should really be enjoying the time, even with somebody where it doesn't go the full course of whatever it is you want, up to that point that y'all got to that place where you determined, this isn't gonna work. it should have been an enjoyable time. And once it stops being enjoyable, that's probably an indication that it's not something you should be doing. Like, who would continuously do something that is not enjoyable majority of the time? That sounds pretty crazy.
Yes.
So if it's not, it should be fun. It should be enjoyable. Like, I love to flirt. They say that about Libras, like that's just like a trait of ours. But I think flirting is fun. Wordsmithing and
Flirting
banter
is very fun.
It's fun. Like, you should, as a woman, if you're not doing it, I really do. I'm going to challenge some women out there. Like, if you have never approached or flirted in an obvious way, not just you look cute, you sitting somewhere looking cute. I mean, putting it on, doing your hair a certain way, holding your hands a certain way, like engaging and paying compliments or any of the things that Dre suggested. Like, I challenge you to do it, and just to see how it makes you feel. For me, it's confidence. Like, it's a confidence builder. I think that's what makes men, although men don't like rejection just like women don't, I think that's what creates some of that irrational confidence that you kind of talked about, because you almost feel like accomplished if once you put yourself out there, and if there's a bite, it's like throwing the fish rod and it's like, oh shit, I got a fish, child.
Yeah, I think that it's just practice. Like, yeah. I think people don't, they think of dating as, like you said, this just hard. It's like, it's just talking to people, and like I said, Cayla, just focus on building genuine relationships. But you have to practice. And I think that for somebody like you and I, if for example, why this comes so easy to us, being able to talk to random people, being able to network, is because we kind of did it as a profession for a long time. Like, Rhonda and I both worked at property management, and Rhonda's a bigwig now, but you always had to start at a specific level, which is always leasing. And every day it's random people coming in that you don't know. And what they always say is build rapport with people.
Absolutely.
And you have to find some common interests with these people that you don't know. And find a point, and you learn how to talk to strangers. You learn how to connect with strangers. You learn how to figure out what they like, and then start to harp on that and dig deeper into it. And, you learn how to do these things. So I think for us, we have a lot of practice.
Yeah. There's strategy with building rapport, because it's not a cookie cutter experience. You can't compliment a person on their dog if they don't have one.
Exactly. And that's what flirting basically is, right? It's building rapport. So I encourage people who, if you don't do this as a profession, that's one thing, but I encourage you just to focus on like building genuine relationships. I would say exercise is just try to meet one new person a day. Like, if a cleaner comes into your building every day and you don't know the cleaner's name, like, talk to the cleaner.
Shout out to Karina.
You know,
cleaner in my office. Look at that.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, talk to that person. If there's a front desk person at your building and you walk past them every day, like, stop. Have a conversation with them, introduce yourself, figure out what, how long you been working here? Oh, like, just have a genuine 2 to 5 minute conversation with somebody every day. Just practice on having conversations with people, being social with people, so that when you're out and you see somebody that you like, or you meet somebody, you're not just like deer in the headlights or just waiting, or like you don't know what to say. It's like, practice having conversations and just focus on building genuine relationships, and not always trying to like find the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, and I know, obviously you're married, and so when you go out, the experiences are a little bit different, but do you ever just sometimes take inventory of the space and you see how disconnected human beings are from each other, even though we're sharing space? Like, let's just say the club. Maybe not the club, because I don't want to use a place where,
I can say yes. I mean, it depends, but I can even see it sometimes in small groups of even like friends. Like, I have so many friends from so many different walks of life. Like, I know a lot of people, and they're both women and men. And sometimes I've been in settings to where I invite everybody somewhere, and it's like the girls over here, the guys over here, and I'm looking at the guys like, bro, like, come and have a conversation. Like
Yeah.
sit down. It doesn't have to be get at you type thing. Like let's just like all talk. And I'll do what I'm kind of doing now. Everybody likes to talk about relationships, like and I try to start a conversation and start to get people to interact. And I'll pick people. I'll be like, so what you think about blah 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 blah, or what you think about blah blah blah. But I do see that often to where it seems like people sometimes are fearful or scared of like having social interactions or conversations with people. But I don't know. I guess you have to have a certain level of confidence, right? And a certain level of like, I don't care necessarily
like
to it. Yeah, a comfort. Because I even met when I was in New York over Memorial Day. We were at this brunch spot and we were having a good time. Like bartender, free shots. Like we were just good. Like energy's always good with my crew. And there was this girl sitting next to me at the bar. Her and her friend sat down, and my cousin looked over and he was like, oh, where you guys from? And she was like, we're married. And I was like, oh, congratulations.
That escalated quickly, but go ahead.
I was like, oh, congratulations. I was like, how long have y'all been married? And the bartender was like, oh, y'all married to each other? She was like, oh, no, we're not married to each other. It was two girls. She was like, we're both just like married. So I looked at her and I was like, so you don't want me to talk to you? And she was like, oh, no, I was just saying that I'm married. And I held on my finger. I was like, I'm married too. And she was like, oh, you're married? And I'm like, yeah, but you led with, and I'm not
like answer the question that I'm asking, right? Like, damn.
I'm that type of person. Any of my friends will tell you, like, I'm not the leave it alone person. I'll be like, so I was like, so you're married? Like, what is that? You didn't want us to talk to you, or like, I don't get why you led with that,
right?
And she was just like, oh no, I just was saying like, I'm married. And then after that, she was like trying to talk to me more and more. And I was just
and now you off it.
Yeah, I'm like,
that was so aggressive for no reason.
Where you were from.
Yes. And if he was asking you where you are from, because he was going to eventually say, can I get your phone number? Can I take you out? That is when you say, no, I appreciate it, but I'm married.
Exactly.
That's like we don't have to jump there so quickly. We don't. Lord Emmer. And if you really just don't want to talk, that's what you should say.
Yeah. I'm just here with my homegirl. We just enjoying our time with you. And
we just want to talk to each other, but thank you. Be courteous, but you can still shut down. I don't want to engage with you without doing
And that's
that.
what I'm talking about, like the social interaction. Like people don't know how to, like, even like you said, like being able to say no in a way that's respectful. Like people don't know how to converse, how to socially operate.
We are regressing when it comes to natural human physical interactions. We are advancing when it comes to socially connecting on a global standpoint. When I say we're advancing, because I could talk to someone in China right now. If I pick up my phone, go to a social media platform, I can talk to him right now, just like that. But because we have that, and then we have the ability to edit, and I don't think we understand how much we don't do that in real life. We don't get to do that in real life. If I'm sitting in front of someone and I'm having a conversation with them and I use the wrong word or I stutter through what I'm saying, I can't just hit the edit button and undo that. Yep. So you lose your skill when you don't use it. It's like you lose the ability to know how to swim if you don't consistently swim, or you there is some level of muscle memory, but we get so wrapped up in our phones. Like sometimes it drives me crazy. I ask you that question because I certainly see it. You go in a space, even if it's an intimate space, like you said, it's not just the guys are with the guys and the girls are with the girls. It's literally like everybody's with their phone. You're just sucked into this device where you feel like you're engaging with people because you're watching them. But you're not. Even if you are, you putting hard eyes on posts or you writing comments on posts. It's people in this space that you could be writing comments to out your mouth. Exactly. Like, oh my gosh, you look so cute. Where'd you get this shirt from? You look great. That's the equivalent of hard eyes in verbal communication. So just like I challenged women to be more confident with flirting and approaching, I really do want us to know how to separate those things. I don't think it's anything wrong with loving, enjoying, using, and into engaging with people on social media. But when you are with people, when you are in the presence of people, give that as much energy as you possibly can, because it's just courteous. It's very rude to be sitting on your phone when you're in a room full of people. But it's just also like you don't know what you're missing because you're detached from that space. You don't know if your person is in this room. You don't know if a great business opportunity is in this room. You don't know if your new best friend is in this room, or a person that you will ultimately go on to just have a very fond relationship with, because you're so busy following, chasing, and searching in many ways people that you don't even know on social media. So that, I think, plays a part into some of the challenges with dating, because I've heard this from men and women, that when they go to talk to people, like talk on the phone or talk at a table on a date, it's given one word replies, the equivalent of an emoji, like boop, hey, hand wave, you look nice, hand praise. It's like y'all just don't actually know how to talk anymore. Use the skill so you don't lose the skill.
For sure. I have a question for you as well.
Oh, okay.
And this is all pertaining to Kay and her situation. We're talking about meeting somebody and dating. Yes. So we are still on topic.
Absolutely.
This is, I come up with my theories, right? As I observe things.
Yes.
And I see things. This is not the snacking thing.
Okay, good. Because you got some wild takes.
I had wild takes. Okay. I'm good now. I'm good now.
Yes.
But I realized that when you're dating and initially meeting somebody, right, that you kind of got to know what your superpower is when you're dating. Like, you have to know if you are a looker, right? Like, you have to be honest. Like, some people are just very, very attractive. So as soon as somebody sees them, that's all it takes to like get a number or like get information. Some people are funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have conversations, they'll have you dying on the floor laughing. Some people have a nice smile. Like, I feel like you got to kind of know what your thing is.
Yes.
Because I've seen it in my group of friends, and I've seen people take the wrong approach because it's like the way that you approach somebody, what you were trying to do, that's not like your thing.
Yes.
Like, so do you believe in like different people having different things that like, that is their like superpower when it comes to dating, whether it's, I can sit down and once I start talking to you on a deeper level, I know I could reel you in, but I know that initially off my appearance, you may not be like, oh, I want this person.
Yes.
I feel like you have to know that when you're dating, like be honest with yourself and understanding when you're meeting people initially what your thing is, because I've seen so many people, and I'm speaking from a guy's perspective, take the approach of like, I feel like you cannot take the smack approach, like going smack approach, unless you are like, you look good, because pretty much all in the sense of like how some guys do it more like aggressively, in the sense that like you're asking for a woman's number straight off the bat. You didn't like, you don't know, or you didn't have a conversation with her. You have to look good, because that's the only thing they really have to go off of in that, if they're going to say yes or no in that moment. Yeah. But I've seen so many people who ain't that, who try to have that approach, and then they get mad at like, oh, why? It's like, well, that's not your thing. Like, you aren't the guy who's like, wow. Yes. To where it's like, without any conversation, somebody's just going to be mesmerized and be like, whoa. Let's give it a try. Maybe. I don't know. But what I'm saying right now could work for me. It's like, you have to understand that, what you bring to the table, what your superpower is when it comes to dating, or the thing that could really strike somebody's interest isn't necessarily that. So
yeah, I believe in that 100,000,000%. Everybody does have their superpower. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't know what their superpower is, or it hasn't been tapped into enough, because what your superpowers have to be exceptionally obvious to you, but not always so obvious to the person that you're talking to, because that's what makes them a superpower. Yeah. When you think about like that phrase, it comes from fictional characters being able to do things that aren't necessarily real, or they're so magnificent that they just can't walk around like that all the time. So like a person's superpower might be in a movie like being able to teleport or disappear. But on an average day, you can see them. You wouldn't know that. You can't necessarily see it. That is your thing. I have many of them. I have more than one superpower. I won't tell all of them, because I mean, that's what makes them my superpowers. But I think the one that I'm willing to share is scent. I'm really into fragrance in general. Just like, I like it like I think most people enjoy colognes and perfumes and candles and things like that.
For sure.
But when it comes to dating and flirting, I put a lot of thought into my fragrance choices. And a lot of it is about my mood and maybe what I have on. The color lipstick I plan on wearing could change the fragrance I plan on wearing that day. I might layer or put some here and some in other places. So that is one of my superpowers, because I want you to remember me, but that's one of the primary things I want you to remember me by. Not just that I was attractive, not just that, you know, I might have had on a nice dress that night, but I want you to really remember what I smelled like. So that's one of them. But I think everybody should tap into what those are. Those are the things that kind of close the deal, if you will, or reel a person in enough to make them tilt their head when they think about you. Like, damn, she just smelled, I don't even know what it just was like. Damn, like, yes.
You want to be memorable.
Yes.
Make a mark.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to what you were saying a minute ago about Cayla and how this still ties into that, it's because at the top of the episode, I said, dating is such a vast experience.
Yeah.
It can look like everything and it can look like nothing. And then it can look like every single thing in between that. So we don't really know what could be the miss here. While we got a lot of information about Cayla being a Christian Black woman who's 24 from the DMV, you know, who kind of has been in some of the same spaces as Dre and Bree, two people who found love with one another. That still doesn't tell me, does she flirt? Is she open to conversation when she's approached? It doesn't tell me, you know, where she's necessarily meeting people outside of, I guess, the church. Mm-hmm. But I don't really know what that looks like. We don't know if she's going out enough or is she staying in enough? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know if you're on a dating app or if you are just trying to organically meet people on social media. So this is why this has gone into all of those different spaces, because that's dating. That's dating in a nutshell. It's as big as the world or as small as a mustard seed. It just depends on where you are in the experience. And so, I mean, I hope that there were some great takeaways, not just with Cayla, but with everybody who's out here single and trying to figure it out. Enjoy it, you know, like, have fun with it as much as you can. And when it's not fun,
take a break.
It's okay to stop and just be like, I'm not open to it right now. I'm gonna take a few days off. I'm gonna take a few weeks off. I'm gonna focus my energy onto something else that needs it. You know, we went through the gamut of praying and how to pray, because again, dating is all of these things. It's so layered.
Yeah, I think my leaving message kind of incorporates everything that we had talked about already. But like I said, it's just stop making the stakes so high every time you meet somebody. Yeah. Like, you're making the stakes so high, I feel like sometimes, that every date, every text, like, means so much that you're taking it to heart if it doesn't work out. It's like, just build genuine relationships. If you have a date with somebody, like, that should be fun. It's like, hey, I'm meeting somebody new. Like, this should be fun, should be exciting. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. That's a big thing. It's like, I don't know where this is going to go, versus like placing an expectation. Like, I hope it goes here. It's like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah. My initial interaction with this person was really cool. Like, we'll see where it goes. We're going to dinner. Like, I'm excited to do it. And then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Yeah. And there's nothing, and listen, that's okay. Like,
it's really okay.
It's really okay if it doesn't work out. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So just,
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Exactly.
You don't have no other option. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. You can't change that.
You can't change it at all. No. So just focus on building just genuine relationships with people and just meeting new people and interacting with new people. And I'll say this is, as we talked about being whole and making sure that you're complete within yourself, when you do that, you can just go out and just focus on doing the things that you enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you're in the places and doing the things that you enjoy, there'll be people there who enjoy doing the same things and like the same things. So then may meet somebody who your interests are aligned with, because you're just at the places that you enjoy going to, or the places that you like to visit. Like if you like going to concerts, go to concerts. If you like going to festivals, go to festivals. I don't know if you like going to King's Dominion. If you like, just do the things that you like to do. Focus on yourself and being the best person you could possibly be. But a lot of times when you're in the spaces of or doing the things that you like to do, there'll be other people who are there doing the same things, doing the things that they enjoy doing, and then you'll meet people of like mind a lot of times.
Just like that. That was perfect. Listen, thank you, Cayla, for writing in. Again, we really appreciate it. Sure. And we want to hear from you too. So if you have questions, you need advice, or you want to run one of your real love scenarios past us, you can hit us up on relationshiprestore.com. Go to the contact us section. We would love to hear from you. You can also follow us on social media. I'm at Ronnie Cakes.
I'm at It's Dre Smith.
And we are at Relationship Restored. Yes. So make sure you check us out. Until next time.
Peace, guys.